Please begin by making yourselves very, very comfortable. This meditation has been created to help you confront emotional eating. Before we begin this meditation, please find a spot that will allow you to feel completely at home, comfortable, content, peaceful. Find a quiet spot in your home. Lay down if you wish. Sit on the floor, or just sit in a chair and relax. In preparation for this deep meditation, I ask that you close your eyes. Relax your hands at the sides of your legs, your body. Let your feet fall to the sides. Relax your shoulders. Pay particular attention to the area of your heart chakra and relax your lungs. Relax the muscles of your chest and your back. Allow your shoulders to drop. Allow your thighs to relax. Relax your lower jaw. And prepare for this meditation. Dear ones, please begin by taking a deep breath through your nose, holding it for a count of 2, and then releasing it. Releasing gently. Please take another deep breath through your nose. Hold it for a count of 2, and then again, release it gently. There is nothing to force. You have nothing to prove. You have nothing to do. This is your sacred time to just be. To be with you. To be with your body. To be with your thoughts. To be with your feelings. To be with your planet. To be with your authentic self. This is your time to confront the programs that have been downloaded into your innocent, virgin, subconscious mind that have you believing that you do not have control over your eating. This is your time to release any shame related to emotional eating. This is your time to forgive yourself for emotional eating. This is your time to remember that it is not your fault that you have developed a habit that has brought you comfort, that has brought you peace, and mostly relief from your spiritual starvation. Emotional eating is not about food. Emotional eating has nothing to do with physical hunger. Emotional eating is rooted in spiritual hunger, in spiritual starvation. It is not your fault if, very long ago, food was your friend. Most oftentimes, food addictions begin in childhoods. Children who feel abandoned, who feel alone, who suffer from supreme loneliness, oftentimes rely on food to help take them away from their spiritual hunger. It is not a child's fault that they have developed a habit that has been their only friend. On this journey, it is important to confront our patterns, but most importantly, it is of the utmost importance to understand the patterns. It is important to become as cognitive and as logical as possible as we learn to confront our emotional eating. There are many emotions we go through when we are people who suffer from food addictions and who eat for emotional reasons. There are the beginning wounds, the wounds that are responsible for us reaching for food in the first place. And then there are the emotions that show up that are the results of us blaming ourselves and shaming ourselves for our weight, for what our bodies look like, as well as for our behaviors. The original wound is rooted in not feeling good enough. And as we age and rely on food to comfort us, inevitably, these behaviors reinforce the original wound, the I am not good enough wound. It is time to understand that although emotional eating is wounded in a very deep wound, it is rooted from wounds. It is the result of wounds. And although this is true, if we are to be free of our unhealthy patterns, we must be willing to confront the idea that our habits are reinforcing those original wounds. It is time to forgive the innocent child who was wounded so long ago and who has developed a pattern of relying on food as a source of comfort. There is no villain here. There is no bad person here. This is not a matter of will. This is a matter of patterns and programming. The brain has learned to associate pleasure with eating. This association makes sense. Food very much helps increase our moods. When we are depressed and we take in carbohydrates, saturated fats, and salty foods, our brain feels good. The brain then develops an association to food, and it is a pleasurable one. The brain wishes to help you avoid pain. And so, when you are depressed, your brain knows food will lighten your load and increase your mood. This is not a matter of will. This is chemistry. This is biology. This is not your fault. The good news is, you can overcome. You can learn to understand how your brain works. You can learn to appreciate how your brain has had one agenda, and that is to help you avoid pain. Your brain does not understand, nor is it concerned with calories you do not need. When your brain feels pain, it knows food will make you experience pleasure. This is not a matter of will. People who use food as a way to avoid pain have found a way to detach and dissociate from their spiritual hunger, from their anxiety, from their not enoughness. There are no villains here. There are no bad people here. This is simply what the brain does. It is possible to heal. It is possible to understand the pain versus pleasure principle. It is possible to overcome. It is possible to understand the brain at such a level that you can overcome and override this reflex of the brain. It is not your fault. It is not your fault. It is not your fault if your brain associates pleasure with food. It is time to develop compassion for the being that you are, who has used food as a way to cope with anxiety, with fear, with abandonment, with the fear of rejection, with shame, with guilt. It is time to develop compassion for the person who is simply trying to survive a sometimes almost impossible reality. It is time to stop shaming the being who has been using food as a means to survive. Emotional eating is about pain. It is time to acknowledge that pain. It is time to release that pain. It is time to accept the pain. It is time to acknowledge the pain. It is time to release the pain. It is time to stop running from the pain. It is time to stop dulling the pain. It is time to stop pretending there is no pain It is time to release the shame. You have nothing to be ashamed of. You are enough. It is not your fault. You have been abused. You have been abandoned. You have been rejected. It is not your fault if your family of origin has abused you, abandoned you, mocked you. It is not your fault if society has abused you, abandoned you, ignored you, mocked you, or judged you. It is time to stop the pattern. It is time to stop recreating the wounds that are responsible for the emotional eating in the first place. It is time to stop abandoning the inner child. It is time to stop mocking the inner child. It is time to stop rejecting the inner child. It is time to stop abandoning the pain. It is time to stop rejecting the pain. It is time to stop mocking the pain. Your pain is valid. Your pain is real. Your pain is justified. Your pain makes sense. Let no one mock you. Let no one ever make you feel like you do not have a right to feel what you feel. Pain hurts when we ignore it. We suffer when we ignore the pain that we have experienced in our lives and pretend that we don't feel anything at all. We suffer when we smile, when instead we wish to cry. We suffer when we stuff our feelings, when instead we should cry. Feelings were meant to be released, like water through a hose. Once you acknowledge them, once you feel them, once you validate them, once you acknowledge them, once you embrace them, and once you love them, they will be released from your body. It is time to stop punishing yourself for patterns that are the result of a spiritual starvation. It is time to remember why you use food in the first place. It is time to have compassion for the being who used food as a means to survive a spiritual starvation. It is time to remember you are enough. It is time to remember that you deserve more. It is time to remember that within you is the power to hijack the pain versus pleasure reflex and to begin associating pleasure with taking care of the divine self. It is time to experience your feelings rather than eat your feelings, stuff your feelings, and or deny your feelings. It is time to feel your feelings. It is time to express your feelings in journaling, in painting, in dancing, in singing. It is time to express that which you have been afraid to express. You are bigger than your past. You are more than any abuse you have ever suffered. And as you learn to feel the feelings eating has allowed you to detach from, you will find that you will no longer need to abuse food or use food as a way to suppress your feelings. As you learn to move forward and express your feelings, you will no longer need food to help you suppress your feelings. It is possible to overcome. It is possible to eat well. It is possible to associate pleasure with eating healthy food, food that helps nourish every cell of your being. It is not your body's fault. It is not your brain's fault. It is not your fault. Emotional eating is the result of spiritual starvation, of emotional suppression. As you learn to express that which you feel, your spirit will begin to feel nurtured. As you learn to embrace nutrition and eating well, as you learn to appreciate the benefits of exercise and walking, your brain will naturally begin to feel better. The more you do to enhance the chemistry in your brain, the more you learn to exercise and eat well, the more fortified your cells become, the less need you will have to use food as a mood elevator. It is time to remember that you are not bad, you are not disgusting, and you are not weak, because you have been an emotional eater. It is not your fault. It is time to embrace the being with you, with love, with light, and with compassion. It is time to remember to love the being who is only seeking relief from the pain caused by rejection, abandonment, and shame. Dear one, you are enough. You are enough. You are enough. Within you is the power to overcome anything. Within you is the power to take back the power. Within you is the power to be the victor of your life. Within you is the power to love the divine self, to nurture the divine self and to reclaim your personal power. Within you is the ability to help you reframe your associations with food. You have the power to use food as a way to fortify every cell of your being. You are in control of the food. You are in control of the food. You are in control of the food. You can feel your feelings. You can feel your feelings. You can feel your feelings. If you wish, you may stay in a deep meditative state, or if you like, you may awaken and become fully alert at the count of 5. 1, wiggle your toes. 2, wiggle your fingers. 3, take a deep breath in through your nose. 4, open your eyes. 5, remember, you are enough. You are enough. You are enough. Namaste.